Lighting's good.
So I don't think we are.
Lighting's good.
Oh, hey. Yeah, we are live.
There's a little bit of a delay.
There was a little bit of a delay, but I'm going to keep Zoom open so that, and I'm going to close that other page so we don't have.
Lighting's good.
Well, welcome to my first live stream.
Yay.
This is interesting. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
All right. So maybe just a little recap since the last time we did a video. We said that we were going to put a little pause on the private sessions, and then we actually did a private session this last week.
We sure did.
Do you want to maybe talk about that a little bit, or kind of what's on your mind? What do you want to focus on?
Well, yeah, it was kind of a little mini emergency private session. So basically, recap from the last time. Boy, I don't even know what we talked about 2 weeks ago, but right after that session ended, my ex messaged me and I let you know, like, look, he's messaging me. Now what? So he kind of came back, but kind of the same dynamic. So this is my chance to practice my skills that I'm learning. Yeah. Or choose to exit and not practice them. Yeah.
Like one of the questions I kind of asked during that last session was like, what do you want to do? Do you want to like try to be in this relationship? Do you want to like work on your skills and kind of see where this can go? Or is this relationship not something you want?
Yeah, you kind of put me on the spot. You're like, what do you want? And I'm like, what do I want? No fair.
You have to decide right now. I mean,
emergency. Yeah,
seriously.
I mean, I kind of flip flop, so that's tricky.
Yeah, I think in my mind, like, there isn't really a right choice, and there isn't really a reason to choose anything too quickly. It's like, take your time with the choices that are in front of you and use the skills you're developing to work on that relationship. And even if you decide that relationship isn't for you, the skills that you're developing with that relationship in mind will, transfer.
Yeah. There's always a lesson, no matter if you're in a relationship or not, you're always learning. So if you choose to.
Yeah. If you
kind of history tends to repeat itself over and over and over until you kind of figure out that there's something you need to do to change.
Yeah, and I'd say, like, it comes in waves, and change can sometimes happen slowly and sometimes happen quickly, and there are different lessons to learn, and sometimes it takes a while to like see something enough times to really decide that one needs to make a change.
Especially for me. Yeah.
So where do we want to start today? What's on your mind?
Well, I wish there was. I know it's about me, and it's not like I can change him, but with the different attachment styles, you have to come at it from different angles when you're approaching, like communicating with somebody that has a different attachment style. A lot of times I think I try to communicate with what I would want, but that's not necessarily the right way for them to understand where you're coming from. And I struggle a lot. I just wish there was like maybe some like handbook that there was like, here's these phrases. I know that's just a short-term fix, but you know what I mean? Like where you could just kind of know what exactly you're supposed to say so the other person understands what's on your mind.
Yeah.
And at what point because I don't know. And then the other hand, I'm like, it shouldn't have to be this hard either.
Mm.
But when you're one way and they're the other, it is more of a challenge.
Hmm.
I think my own experience has been.
Okay, can we make this a little more concrete?
You want examples of what has transpired since we talked?
Yeah, I think that would be.
Well, to just let if anybody's listening, audience know. So he came back more just like in an email and then started texting and was saying all sorts of lovey-dovey things to me, like full force within a few days, coming up with pet names. And so I'm his kryptonite. He's Superman. So yeah, that like makes you feel good. But the part that's missing is the transparency piece of like, wait, we haven't talked for a couple months. Like, so where are we with this? Like, what am I to you? You know, like I feel like there needs to be that uncomfortable conversation, and that's really hard for him.
Yeah.
And you can't really do that in texting. I mean, I don't feel a lot of things get misconstrued. So I've been kind of waiting for that opportunity, but I kind of dropped the ball because so after we talked, okay, so yeah, our emergency hearing was because I did ask him, yeah, it's come back to me. So it's not really that I asked, but I asked him how his heart was. And he said, do you need me physically or emotionally? And I said emotionally, and he said it was good, right? Mm-hmm. And then I said, well, if you ever are struggling with that, feel free to let me know how I can help you to feel safe. And the reason I chose that phrase is because I thought with his attachment style, they struggle a lot with feeling safe. And he has also said that he doesn't like my instability kind of scares him away, which makes sense. It would probably scare me away too. So he probably wants consistency and safety. So then he said, huh?
For a second. I'm curious. So he said scared and you're saying safe. Is safe his word or is safe his word?
Well, people that are on the avoidance side, I thought I've read that they don't feel like safety is a big deal for them. The trust.
But what, I guess, is that a framing from the point of his point of view, or someone looking from an outside point of view and trying to create a concept and a label that defines kind of the pattern that's being seen?
Pattern. I mean, we can't know for certain. I mean, he said, I mean, safety, if you don't feel safe, then you're going to have an element of fear, right?
But I'm not disagreeing with you conceptually.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd agree. Like, you know, safety is something that's probably in there, but like from his point of view, he may never think of the word safe.
Yeah, you're probably right. We don't know. I threw it out there. It wasn't right or wrong for whatever it was.
Yeah.
I didn't say you don't feel safe, so I wasn't labeling or judging. I just said, what, you know, if there's anything I can do to help you feel safe. And he said, I'm avoiding, what was it? Something like all involvement, and it keeps me from pain, drama. What was the other thing? Something. 3 things. And I'm like, whoa. But you know, for me, I know that I like transparency. This is just me, Melanie. I don't know if it's an attachment style thing. I want to know if somebody is wishy-washy, they're going silent. I'm forced with my anxiety. I'm going to try to fill in the blanks, which is not right. But I would rather somebody tell me that right there. Like that was refreshing. Like, except for on the other hand, I'm like, help, Dylan, what do I do? So, I mean, it was, but yeah, it led to, I just didn't know how to respond to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's when I messaged you, or was it something else?
No, I think that's the time when you messaged me. Yeah.
And I just told him I thanked him for, I don't know if I said the word transparency, but, you know, being upfront, left it at that. So I'm like, okay. So in my mind, I'm like, we don't know, could be a trigger. He's said that before to me a couple times in the past. He has said that phrase, but then he'll still come back strong. And then it's just like, so maybe I need consistency too. It's like, whoo, you're here and there. The next day, so I didn't talk to you. So the next day, think he had a little too much to drink or something, or I don't know if I got him thinking. Blowing up my phone again, going on about how people don't listen to him, or like he's never been able to express his feelings. And he said something about, you always tell me, or you've told me in the past that you don't think I'm an empath. I have never said that I know of. I think that empath is not, it's a made up term, and I don't really like labels, even though I will label myself sometimes. But in his mind, he thinks that I've told him he's not an empath. And he just said, I can't help that I feel so strongly for people, such strong empathy, and people that are troubled always come to me looking, for help. I can't help that. I just, care so much about people. It was like all of a sudden this just came out of nowhere. And I said to him, I said, I accept you for who you are, and whatever you are. And I'm sorry that people have not allowed you to express your feelings, because that first part he said.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was a test or where that came from. Maybe it was just him spouting off, but then he just said, I'm really sorry. He goes, when I was with Jennifer, so he's always like talking about the one that got this and this and this, and it's still hurting or something. I don't know. I could pull up the text, but so I just said, and he said something about, don't message me again tonight or something. I'm in a bad spot. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you your space. Then the next morning, he's like blowing up my phone. Like, I'm looking at my messages. I make sure I didn't say anything that I shouldn't have, or I don't know. It was just weird. But then I said, again, I accept you for who you are. And he said, so when are we getting together for a drink? Like, he came back with that. I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, well, when do you want to meet? So we met after work. I did not drink anything because drinking gets me in trouble. Plus, I've been under the weather. Well, I want to do everything, I don't want to say the wrong thing. So I'm sitting there drinking tea. And he had like one drink, and it went well. And then we walked out, and it was just like, an hour. And I wasn't nervous or anything, and he didn't seem to be. And then I gave him a hug, and the hug felt really nice. And he leaned in to kiss me. So then I kissed him back, and then that was it. Then he messaged me later, and he's like, you didn't seem like you wanted to let go with that hug. And I'm like, I know it felt good to hug you. And he goes, yes, it did. Aww. And then he was talking about the kiss and how I'm his kryptonite. So I'm like, okay, here we go again. I wasn't even going to meet with him because I wasn't feeling well. I have to back up. I literally was going to be like, can we do a rain check? Because I had like a bad headache. It turned into this cold. So hopefully he doesn't catch it. But he had said something like, yeah, well, if you're not feeling well, we can get together next week. He goes, I have somewhere I got to be after work tomorrow and the next day. And I didn't know if he was just saying that, but I didn't hear from him. Like, he'll message me like a lot, but I didn't hear from him the next day in the evening. And I left him alone. I'm like, he's doing something. It's none of my business. And yesterday either, but I kind of messed up a little bit.
How did you mess up?
Not really, but I get a little bit panicky. I didn't really, it's just, I should have not messaged him, but I sent him like a heart around like 5:30. I mean, he was the last one that messaged me at like 11:30, and I was busy with work.
Are you not to message him?
Huh? No, I'm just saying, this is me putting that pressure.
Yeah, I just want to clarify, like, where's this, you shouldn't have messaged him?
It's me and my unwritten, it's not that, it's fine, I messaged him, but when I'm feeling panicky, I shouldn't message him probably, because it's the wrong thing.
Okay. So what I'm hearing from you is that you want to be in a good place when you send him messages.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Because I need to meet my own needs when I'm feeling that way. I have to learn that. And I am a little bit, but it was the wrong reason to message him.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that.
I like it. You're good.
But meditation helped, but I would have been fine with that, but like 7 something, God, why is this live? All right, I just got to be vulnerable, right? So I don't know. This was part of my little trigger, but so I have a lot more work to do. So I changed on oh God, I don't even know. I guess I got to tell you.
You
My
can
status on Facebook, I put it that I'm in a relationship. So that's reply. And I sent a screenshot of it and I said, here, I changed it because I'm hoping that'll make you feel safe and build up trust so you don't think that I'm going out with other guys again. Because if you remember back in September, I told them I was dating other guys and I told them about the 3 guys. So see, I have my own issues. That's why it's probably more me. But now I'm like, after I did it, I'm like, oh yeah, that probably wasn't good. So here we are. Like I have not messaged him all day.
I kind of want to curious. How do you feel being live right now? How does this feel?
Oh, this is like whatever. This is who I am. That's the one thing I've learned in therapy. I don't judge myself, even if I can't change. This is me, and I'm a worthwhile human being. So
You definitely are.
Yeah. See, this is what I think. I think I sent that, looking back at it though, because back to, I still look at it what I would want with my attachment style. I keep forgetting names. That's gonna freak him out more. He'll come back. He'll come back again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I should probably, but see, then the thing is, now if I change it back again, then there's that inconsistency. So I should just leave it on there.
I would say, it's been said, it's been done. Just leave it. It's
because before I would flip flop back every day. That's the reason I can't say goodbye, I'm done, because he's not going to believe me. Because 2 days I'll be back.
Yeah.
I got to ride this out for a month because I already built it up. I told him I've done a lot of work on myself. I said, you're probably not going to like me, Melanie, because I might actually be kind of boring because he always talks about the side to me that's so fun. Not boring.
I think that concept of boring is coming from you. I don't think that's.
I'm way too transparent, though. The problem is, like, now I'm just like, did they need to know all that?
Who's they?
Or probably nobody's watching. You sort of lie.
The audience of 0. Right?
The people in this group.
the people who will watch this in 5 years, if this channel works out. Care. Yeah.
It is the one thing I will say about myself. I can be myself. I just have a fear for being it. So, I have no shame with who I am.
Okay. All right. So
for most areas.
So where do we go from here? Kind of one thing I'm kind of thinking about is how you talked about you don't know kind of where his whole thing came from in terms of like he responded to you kind of like you had suggested to him that I don't remember the exact words, that he wasn't an empath.
Yeah, I don't. You want me to look at my phone to see?
No. I guess what I'm kind of looking at that in terms of, to me, it sounds like he's trying to express thoughts and feelings, and he maybe doesn't have the vocabulary to express those thoughts and feelings.
He said that lots of times. Yes, he will tell me that. Because growing up, he didn't know. Sometimes he doesn't even know what he feels. Yeah. To me, that's him sharing, and I give him credit for that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also, if he's saying that you said this, in my mind, that could be coming from him feeling shame around kind of what's internal. So if he externalizes it to like, you said this to me, then he's kind of, there's a little bit of like blame that he's putting on you. But like maybe that little bit of blame allows him to feel more open and vulnerable. And in the end, it doesn't seem like he's really holding it against you per se.
I thought it was a test, but he has a lot of shame. You can tell. I mean,
yeah.
It is a test. I'm the opposite. I don't. I'm just crazy. Yeah. I don't care. Yeah.
It is a test.
That's my pro card. It's like you cannot. Yeah.
Because like maybe it's not so much like a conscious test, but it's a subconscious test, in that like. Are you willing to like kind of let your ego go for a little bit to allow him to be open and vulnerable?
I feel like, I don't know if it was a subconscious test, because the next day he was like willing to meet with me. And it's like this cycle. He'll do that. He'll start opening up and then he's like, okay, now I can meet her. But then after he sees me, he's scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I just have to lay low. But
Yeah.
now he's been more scared because I put him in a relationship. I think he likes it on some level because he has this deep fear of abandonment as well. He's done that too. But he also has done a test where, he has a fear of people finding out who he is. So he's told me that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel bad that he's that way. I mean, because I do accept him for who he is. And I know he accepts me for who I am too. He's not really critical of me at all. If he was, I would be gone.
Yeah.
He's very kind. Yeah. He's just got this wall that he puts up.
Yeah.
And I'm trying not to take it personal anymore.
Yeah. And it can be hard not to take it personally.
Yeah. Well, that's where my insecurities lie. Yeah. But I'm working on it.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, the wound, the trauma wound, that I'm not good enough, or I'm second choice, not good enough. What else? Discarded, abandoned. Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah.
Oh, also he talked about his love languages in that conversation too. I don't even know how that came out. And I said something about mine being quality time and then physical touch. And he said, that's mine too, which was interesting. Yeah.
So what's this like? So I guess when I'm looking at the situation, to me, it seems like some of the work that you're doing is trying to be intuitive in terms of recognizing that he needs space, recognizing that if you are like very vulnerable, it seems like he can use a little space afterwards to kind of get to know him.
Yeah, he likes it, but yeah, he needs the space because it's a lot.
And this is all stuff that like you're kind of coming up with, or we're coming up with, because he's not necessarily expressing boundaries in this way. But you're seeing that if you give him space, it's helpful for him.
Yep, if I give him space, he'll come back. And then if I don't word vomit on him too much and give him, like if I ask him a deep thought-provoking question and then back away, usually he will come back and answer it 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's him having to process it or what. We don't know. Fear or processing, or
I mean, I don't want to project.
We don't know because he doesn't say.
Yeah.
Well, we have to we don't know.
Yeah. Like there's some processing time, and who knows kind of what's in there.
And I'm more like impulsive, knee jerk, like throw it all out there, word vomit on you.
Yeah.
Very opposite. That's just crazy.
So can you see how this relationship is kind of good for you in terms of facing your own patterns?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I got to face it either way.
Yeah.
I just should not have said, "Oh, you're going to cheat," because now I don't want to eat those words. But
which words do you want to eat?
I don't want to. I mean, I told him, I'm like, I'm a lot different now. This is a different Melanie. Well, I was when in my silence, because I'm very stable when I'm not in a relationship, and I can see things very clearly. Like that subconscious mind is not I don't know. I guess your subconscious mind is always active, but I can see into it more.
So
then you get triggered. It kind of like, I don't know. There's like this lens that just kind of clouds over it a little bit. You just have to constantly redirect. It's constantly like, what do I need right now? I kept saying, what do you need right now? And I'm doing my meditation. I'm like, man, this is like a constant battle because your mind wants to be on autopilot the way it was before because it became a habit.
So
you know what I'm saying?
A bit, maybe extrapolate on that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you also have like contributing factors. So when you're tired, when you're sick, and I got this cold, run down, like I've been sleeping 10, 12 hours. I know I don't sound like it. It's like in my ears and stuff, but I think that you're just a little more, I don't know, vulnerable, or you're more likely to mess up.
Hmm. Okay. I guess
I
so.
think-
I want to. So the whole concept of like shouldn't have said something to him. Like,
Okay, that was a judgment. I said I don't judge myself anymore.
but let's look at that for a minute. Let's like, in my mind, for one, if we're going to talk about shouldn't, I think I'm perfectly fine with the word shouldn't, as long as we like acknowledge that the implication of shouldn't is that it's related to like a desired outcome. So it's like
It's still externally focused and not internally when you say it.
sure, but like we're externally focused human beings. Like
We are so hard not to be.
but
And it's not wrong. It's not
you
wrong.
have to be
100%.
you have to be connected to the external. You need to eat to live.
We need connection.
If you want to like live, if you want to live, you should eat,
Well, yeah.
right? If you stop eating, you're gonna die.
Isn't it that Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Yes, we all have needs.
Yeah.
It's up there with sex, so yeah.
In my mind, the word should.
Yes.
So in my mind, the word should has there's just an implication in terms of given something, I should this. But like, I just kind of want to go back to the real thing I want to ask is kind of like, do you want to be yourself or do you want to pretend to be another person? And I think that it's healthy to kind of like hold back a little bit of vulnerability. Like it's possible to be too vulnerable in terms of like sharing every single thought, feeling, anxiety. And
Yeah,
like,
I do it right now. Yes.
well, this you know, this is kind of this is actually a great container for sharing those anxieties. Like that's the point of this, is to like create something where we talk about all that internal stuff. But in a relationship, like, you know, they're probably like some boundaries are helpful. That being said, like, I think it's good for you to allow yourself to be vulnerable and just recognize that when you're like a little vulnerable, maybe over the line, like give some space to him.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of good for both of you because it helps you feel safer being vulnerable. It helps him feel safer with you being vulnerable and knowing that he's going to get some time to process whatever that vulnerability is. Because I think in the long run, you don't want to have this like just really hard boundaries where you're never allowed to be vulnerable with this person you're with, because like what's the point? Like eventually that's going to get tiresome. Or
I think he's okay with me being vulnerable.
Okay, good.
Well, commitment scares him, so yeah. Putting that, yeah, the last thing. I don't know. Whatever. Just give it time. He'll be back.
Exactly.
And
you know, it's good for you to practice giving him time.
Yeah. And that'll build up, I don't know, trust is a word, or
yeah.
And the thing that and that wasn't that big of a deal. I don't want to, sometimes I can lash out when I'm feeling this way and I haven't processed my feelings, because we all, have needs. So I'm asking myself, what do I need right now, and meeting my needs. But what happened before is I wasn't meeting my needs. I was abandoning myself and not doing self-care. And then I would get more and more frustrated, and it would be like this volcano. And eventually because I'd hold it in because I wouldn't let him know. And then it would just erupt. Like I had to give like a half message and then I would just dump on him and just not be nice. Mm-hmm. So that's what he doesn't like. So what I did was not, yeah.
So do you,
the eruption.
Do you believe what you did helped to work against that eruption?
No.
What I mean?
But we're talking about it and processing it right now, and I've been processing it afterwards. I mean, I shouldn't have sent it to him. I should have journaled or something. I don't know. It wasn't, I don't want to say it was neutral, but it didn't help, or it wasn't probably a good thing, but
Why?
because it's just gonna freak him out more. She thinks we're in a relationship. I told her she's my kryptonite, but gosh, I'm scared to death of relationships.
I see. Sorry.
I don't want that label. And what if people are going to be seeing her page and wonder, like, who it, what?
Yeah. Okay, I hear what you're saying. So what you're, I
don't want to,
switch subjects just slightly from at least what I was thinking about. So you're saying that like maybe it was a little bit too quick to change your relationship status and like tell him that you changed your.
Yeah.
I can understand that. Yeah, like maybe a little more time would have made more sense.
Or if I would have done it and just not told him, I didn't know, like, what was the point?
Yeah.
It was because I wanted validation, or it was for the wrong reason.
Okay. Yeah. It's good to recognize that.
I mean, but on the other hand, I think I justified it because I'm like, well, no, I'm not talking to other guys, because I would definitely not put that on there, because I know I'm friends with a lot of single men on there.
Yeah.
It's not like it was like an announcement that went out. It's just on my, I mean, if they're looking for it, it's public.
And as you said, he might appreciate it. He might just need some time to process whatever.
In some ways, he might like it, but he doesn't want anybody else to know about it. Just all my friends. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know what he would think.
Okay. Anyway, all right. So how are you feeling right now? How are you feeling about the relationship? How are you?
I have my waves. That's the problem. Right now, it's okay.
Okay.
But the weekend is coming. The weekend. We are at the weekend.
We've talked a little bit about the weekend before.
The weekend sucks.
We're right on the precipice.
The weekend sucks. I live in Michigan, where it's cold. It's cloudy.
So one thing we talked about weekends before is making sure that you have projects to work on.
I tried to schedule to get a tattoo, but I guess you can't do that last minute. I only have one, but I thought maybe tattoo tomorrow. Why not?
No judgment at all, but if that's your weekend project every weekend, after a while you're gonna run out.
No. Yeah, it was just something I came up with at the top of my head.
So how about what can you like kind of schedule this weekend in terms of work? Maybe something fun, maybe some type of chore.
I just got over being sick and my house is trashed. So if we talk about that, it's going to depress me. I mean, I know I'll have to clean up, dig myself out of the rubble a little bit.
Do you want to do that this weekend?
Well, it's not so much want, but kind of have to do like the bare necessities, because it is true that your surroundings, if you got clutter, it kind of just weighs on your mood. So you got to do at least one room, or at least get your kitchen clean. Excuse me.
What's your goal this weekend?
Get my kitchen clean and my bathroom.
Kitchen and bathroom. Okay.
And laundry, but that's not fun.
Well, I think
my goal is to start going to the gym again, and that's still not fun. I mean, it's rewarding.
Yeah. So so I think those are great goals for the weekend in terms of like filling up some time. What can you have as a more fun goal?
Tattoo. I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I got nothing. Nothing. I've got this puzzle about put together, but I'm gonna keep working on this puzzle, if nothing else.
Are you enjoying this puzzle?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's not like dopamine, but
yeah,
it's probably more a serotonin high.
Okay.
I want the dopamine. No, it's good. It's fine.
How much time are you going to put in the puzzle this weekend?
Probably a couple hours.
Okay.
Yeah, now we're down to like the blue sky, the trees. Got all the fun pieces in. It's like a carnival scene, but yeah, get the blue sky, clouds, and a couple trees. Now you see why it's fun.
So how do you feel about that with your weekend? Like you can have a little bit of stuff to do. You have a puzzle to work on. You have some cleaning stuff to do.
I need something more than that, but I can't. I honestly cannot. I live in a small town.
Hmm.
I don't have a lot of friends. I have a lot of guy acquaintances, but they all like me, so I can't. I'm not doing that.
Hmm.
To get away from that, I need some female friends because I get along better with guys. But
Okay. How do
maybe
you,
I'll book a trip to someplace warm. But it's not when I'm not going there this weekend.
how do you how do you feel about your weekend right now?
Not real happy about it. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, because everything involves like spending money too. Like I could go shopping, but yeah, we're like getting close to Christmas. The stores are going to be congested. That's kind of a nightmare situation right there,
Okay.
right? I
Yeah.
could work on some crafts. I'm trying to get into like a hobby like crafts or something. I bought some supplies, but I literally just got some stuff from a dollar store. I'm like, here's a new hobby I could start. That was like a couple weeks ago, and I like put it into a basket, but
What's the hobby?
it's not going to be dopamine. Just like I don't know, like making like a picture book or something. Like I don't even know if anybody does that anymore, but I could do it. Like not like a scrapbooking thing, but something like that. You
Mhm.
can make like a fun little gift for somebody.
Can you spend some
Handmade.
time on that this weekend?
Could maybe do that. It's gonna take a
Hmm?
while. I know. I've got a little dysthymia going on. You're in California? Where are you at?
I'm in California. Yeah.
See, you have no idea what Michigan's like. This light behind me is going to keep me up half the night. I turn it sideways, but it's called a light box. I have two of them. She might have three. We have very cloudy days.
Hmm.
Yeah. You can just walk outside in your shorts and okay, maybe not.
Well, I'm in Tahoe right now, so it's a little
It's a
cool.
little chilly. I've been there. I went there in my honeymoon. That's a very beautiful place.
Oh yeah, it's very pretty.
Yeah. Michigan's pretty. It's just it gets very gray from
Hmm.
like now until the end of April.
Mhm.
It is what it is. I usually get away a couple times in the winter.
So is the issue that you're kind of chasing that dopamine high? Is that kind of the maybe some of the
Yeah, I think I'm just a little mildly depressed, but
what
I
is what is it about that dopamine high that does it for you?
kind of wakes up my brain.
Hmm.
I feel like I'm hibernating bear.
Okay. So I guess in my mind, like that, and I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but like, yeah, you're way more medical than I am.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah,
kind of
I
like,
researched the crap out of it. I take vitamin D. I have my lights. I make sure I get outside first thing in the morning. I try to exercise. I go away twice in the winter if I can, and then change my mindset that I just know I'm not going to be as motivated. But I keep myself from getting into a deep dark depression every year. I used to actually get pretty depressed until I didn't know what it was.
hmm,
So it's a seasonal. It's like a bell-shaped curve. Now, come January, February, it gets kind of bad. But
okay, yeah, and I guess in my mind, it's kind of like the more connected you feel to doing these small things, the less desire you have for that like really big kind of excitement.
even if I'm ADD, yeah, maybe.
uh, ADD definitely doesn't
Oh, it is. Yeah, maybe.
yeah, and
No, I mean, I gotcha. I mean, last winter, I got my degree online. So I still did get depressed, but I guess I didn't need the mild depression. I guess I didn't need the dopamine high. but I did the bare minimum with my schooling.
Mhm.
I guess I knew like I had the structure and these deadlines and stuff for that. It was loose deadlines because you do it at your own pace for the college I went to, but I think there was something to be said for that. It wasn't a dopamine thing, but I guess it was that structure that I need. Oh,
So
okay.
there's structure, and then there's also kind of like meaning. And
Meaning.
kind of like
That's a good word.
like
I need
what
meaning in my life. I need like, what's my purpose? Like, so I get up and clean my toilets again and do some dishes. Okay, that's not my purpose. Like
exactly.
when I'm on my deathbed, I'm be like, I ain't clean enough the toilet. That's just so
I cleaned the toilet
low level, like
10,000 times. I brought it to that, like the skill level that you need to be professional. That's where I am with cleaning toilets, right? It's the
I mean, anybody can clean a toilet.
so what's purpose? What do you want? Like kind of like what's meaningful?
Dopamine.
What would bring some purpose to your life?
I want that euphoria. I know. You can't have that every day. That's yeah.
But outside the euphoria, like what's meaningful to you? What do you want to create meaning around? Like what's interesting? What if you imagine some project that you're working on for the next 10 years and you're going to bring it to fruition? Like some fantasy. So like what would it be?
That's a good question. Project. Wow. Probably building my dream house in a sunny location. I could go outside and sunbathe and drink foo-foo drinks all day long. That would be fun.
Okay.
Okay, bad example.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if the long-term goal of just waking up and drinking every day is a good.
I realize you cannot appreciate the good things in life like that without that's your reward for the boring mundane stuff that you do. I get that, because I'm not gonna have like somebody that I hire to be like a cook or the house cleaner. I still gotta do that.
Yeah. You have to hire the bartender as well.
Well, tattoo was plan A, but no.
We're talking 10 years. In 10 years, like what is this big fantasy project?
10 years, I probably will be a snowbird, but I think decorating my house kind of cute would be okay.
Okay, so
But you got to break that down into smaller.
Yeah, exactly. That's the next step.
So the finished project is the dopamine. The work to get it is not high.
So this is the thing. It can be really challenging especially if you're chasing the dopamine, to be able to enjoy the process of getting to that point. And this kind of returns to some of our earlier conversations where you said, if you have an idea, a project you want to do, you have to just get it done like all at once.
Yeah, guess what? My bedroom furniture is on back order till mid-January now too. So go figure.
Yeah. So what is part of the, how can we break down this making your house cuter?
Lord, I don't know. The problem is I get started on something, I might not finish it, and it's going to be even worse. Even a small bathroom. Because that's like the smallest project would be my bathroom.
Okay. So
I mean, I did my master bathroom. I have 4 bathrooms. 3. Can't count.
What if your goal, instead of completing the bathroom, was to design the bathroom?
Well, there's not really much to design. Oh, you mean like figure out what colors and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, You don't have ADD, do you?
I've never been diagnosed, but
Oh,
I
it's
could
horrible.
argue I
Maybe I need
probably
to up
am.
my dose. Maybe I need to. And it is true. Yes, yeah. I'm a nurse, but you always have a disclaimer like I don't have a medical background. I don't know. You need like a psychologist or something or psychiatrist. But I mean, a lot of people say that depression, that some of it is just like changing your thought process. And I get that, but I do think that in some small cases there is a chemical imbalance. With the winter thing in Michigan, it's always going to be just a little bit there.
Okay.
Because then I get like a little manic in the summer. Yeah, not manic, but I'd be able to do 3 bathrooms.
hmm
I don't know. I can try. I can
So
try.
I guess
I
in,
feel like it would make me feel worse, but I try. Pick out colors. It's not going to make me feel happy to pick out colors, but it's just going to be one more thing on my to-do list tomorrow.
it might make you feel worse.
Yeah,
But
it
like
will.
maybe those are feelings that are important for you to have.
Along with all the other yucky feelings I have right now.
Yeah, like in my mind,
You
part of
worse. You want me to feel worse? Okay.
like in my mind, like part of depression might be a chemical imbalance, but also can be avoiding feeling bad feelings. Bad feelings in
Do
quotes.
you want me to feel depressed?
I want you to feel those
I mean,
feelings.
I already
I want you to feel
let them
comfortable.
be there and not focus on them.
I want you to feel comfortable feeling the feeling of depressed without like having to like remember how a couple weeks ago you told me how you were able to both feel the feeling was there and you weren't running away from it.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing for this. It's like learning how to like be with the feeling.
So sit in bed all day and say I'm sad and not do anything, but I'm going to pick out colors in my bathroom.
Yeah. You're going to pick out the colors of your bathroom. You're going to feel the feelings that are around that. And the better you get at both feeling the feelings and doing stuff, like the more you can.
So is it bad? It's bad to like try to do something like a dopamine high that's not going to cause problems. Like getting a tattoo is bad. I only have 1 tattoo, so it's not like that's my. You're saying that's a bad activity to avoid feeling depressed.
I'm not saying that. I think it's fine to do
If
activity.
my mind says that's, but that's
Dopamine.
why I get in trouble with addiction, is what you're saying. Because I'm trying to avoid feelings and it's depression that I'm fighting. Yeah.
I think you're putting some words in my mouth there.
No,
But
I'm asking. Yeah.
no, I think that there is potential for like when you're going for those dopamine highs, you are kind of feeding the addiction a little bit. But I think it's more about having a relationship with the addiction than like you can't just make the addiction disappear. Like you can't.
Well,
like,
why if it's just doing something different each time, it's not like 100 tattoos or.
Yeah.
Bags of Doritos.
I think it's good for you to creatively.
Like this time I'm gonna have a donut. Tomorrow I'm gonna go to the casino. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
It's good for you to
casino. I haven't done that in years. Long drive.
I think it's good for you to creatively figure out ways that you can get do things that create dopamine within you. And at the same
somewhere I saw about, and it was like healthy things to create dopamine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
And at the same time, I think on the other side of it, it's healthy for you to just feel the depression itself and work on projects that the long term are going to work towards feeling more empowered and kind of getting a natural dopamine just from life. And part of that is learning how to do the hard things and slowly get there.
Okay. There goes my weekend. Well, maybe I can pick out the bathroom colors and get a tattoo.
Yeah. I mean, it's not one or the other. I don't,
No, you're probably right. I'm an addict. I want the high.
I mean, I'd like my belly to be a little smaller than it is.
But it's ADHD too. that is a chemical, neurobiological or whatever thing where we do want highs
Yeah.
because our brain is not operating on the whatever it's supposed to be.
So I had a client with pretty strong
ADHD. Yeah.
ADHD. Am I saying that right?
Well, ADD is if you're the inattentive type, which
Yeah.
technically, yeah, but I probably am actually hyperactive, but I don't know. I was diagnosed with inattentive. If it's got the H in it, it's the hyperactive component.
And what we worked on was scheduling, planning, and working on breaking things up into like small concepts.
Yes, yeah.
It took a while, but like after a bit, like they got it down. And like I think often like that structure it's hard. It can be hard to see the structure from the it can be hard to see that structure will actually be helpful or how it can be helpful or what structure is actually necessary. But like I think when adding that structure there, it can make it so that there's more containment for all the different feelings and all the different desires. Because in my mind, ADHD is kind of like there's like 10 people inside me who all want to do like different things. And it's like my brain will go from one person to the next, to the next, to the next. And it's kind of hard to like balance all that. So if I create some type of process, it can be hard in the beginning because structure can kind of bring those feelings and can bring like feelings of depression. This is kind of like why like, you know.
No, I agree with you, but I think that this is separate. Like in the summer, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think that depression makes your ADD worse.
I'm sure.
It can
Yeah.
be doing what you're saying because, yeah, trying to avoid depression, but it also, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not questioning that like I hear what you're saying, you know, not having the sunlight and kind of as the everything like seasonal depression, I think is my understanding is fairly common. And so
I mean, everybody has it here to a certain degree, but some people can function a little better.
Yeah. And this is why we're talking about like strategies to help you function better with this. And in the beginning, it means feeling into that depression a little bit.
Once mushrooms are legal, then I would take them totally. It'd help with the winter depressions.
I think
They're not legal, so
states that are like going in that direction. And
it's gonna be
more
I
research.
went on a trial the other day and they almost were gonna choose me for depression, but they said you have to live within 2 hours of Chicago and I'm 3 hours, so they couldn't choose me. Plus you have to go there.
To Chicago.
I told them I might be willing to move to Chicago. You have to go there like 6 times, but they kept my name. They said, you are definitely they said I would definitely qualify otherwise.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's promising.
So yeah, so like I'm not saying this is going to be a cure, and I'm not saying that. Yeah, I'm just saying that like figuring out some type of structure, figuring out how you can have long-term goals. You can think about your long-term goal is to make your house super cute, and the interim goals can maybe not be as much fun. But the more interim goals you do that are not so much fun, the more trust you can kind of create around that.
Like you need a reward every day to look at, like something got accomplished, if that makes sense though.
Yeah.
So I know you're breaking the bigger into the smaller. Well, I need to see something with the smaller. Like, okay, you hung 3 pictures, or I don't know.
So what reward do you want?
But look at it's in this one corner. Doesn't this look nice? So you look at the one corner and something got done, because otherwise there's no reward for my effort.
What do you want as a reward?
To look at it and say, look what you did today. That's done. You're saying I'm not supposed to do that.
No, I'm not saying you should do that. I love this idea of you do one little corner. Then when you're done with that corner, you take a photo where you frame that corner as the entire photo.
Yeah.
And you put that photo into a scrapbook.
Okay.
And then you have this scrapbook where every photo in the scrapbook is beautiful. And it's a whole representation of beauty, representational of going towards the bigger project.
Okay. You knew that.
Yeah. Okay, so we've gone a bit all over the place today.
Yeah, I went from relationships to projects.
And is there anywhere else we should go before ending the meeting?
No, was anybody listening? Did they have any questions or no?
Let's
Or yeah.
go. Yeah, let's go look at that.
Two people
There is
listening.
one person who liked it.
Yay!
And one person who's watching. I do not see any questions though.
Okay, I scared them.
Well, whoever you are watching,
Probably for my crazy group. No, I'm just kidding.
you can message me on
Friends in the
Facebook
group.
or something, because I'm sure I must actually know you.
What's that?
All right, cool. Well, let's good to end it here.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your vulnerability. Thank you so much for your time and being